Here we have verse 20 of the 15th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus has been communicating to his disciples the idea that they are to love one another, which is the command that he's giving them, and he assures them that as they love one another, they're going to be sharing in the same quality of love that Christ has had for them, which is in fact the same quality of love that the Father has had for the Son. And so it creates a remarkable idea of the distinct fellowship that will be enjoyed among these disciples. But of course the corollary to that is that the very love that is going to be uniting together the disciples of Christ, both those original disciples and also all who have followed him through history, that very love is going to set them in opposition to this world, which loves its own but does not have so much love for Christ unless hearts are changed. And that's really the idea that we get at here. So we have this word. This is the word mnemonuo. This is the word that means I remember. This happens to be the second person plural. Present active indicative or present active imperative, spelled the same way, usually taken in the imperative. And so that would be the idea. Remember, then, Jesus says, it takes the genitive, which we have here. So remember, to logu, the genitive singular masculine article with the word logos in the genitive singular. So remember the word, and then ho, which who actually here is a relative pronoun. We might have expected it to be in the accusative, but by attraction it's connected back to the word with which it's associated here. So remember the word which, and then ego, for emphasis, apon, from lego, I say, first person singular, aorist active indicative, which I said, and then the indirect object, the second person plural dative pronoun. So remember the word which I said to you. And then he's, in effect, quoting what he said to them earlier, and in fact he has said it earlier in James' Gospel. Uk estin, of course in this construction we have the irregular accent on estin. So uk estin, it is not, or he is not, the subject of the verb, doulos, so a slave is not. Maidzone, comparative adjective, takes the genitive, so a slave is not greater than, we would read into it in English, and then the genitive here, to kuriou, the Lord, or master, autu, the possessive pronoun, third person singular, masculine, and so it's the slave is not greater than the master of him. And so that was an axiom that was given by Jesus earlier, and then he continues, if, takes the indicative, a with the indicative, if, and then up front, to give it emphasis, eme, the emphatic, if me, the accusative singular first person pronoun. So if me, a digodzon, from dioko, means to pursue or to persecute. In this sense, probably persecute, third person plural, aorist active indicative. If me, they persecuted, referring to the enemies, of course, of Jesus. Then kai humas, also you. Here is the second person accusative plural pronoun, also you. Same word here, dioko, but now it's in the third person plural future active indicative. Also you, they will persecute. So if you are connected to me, and if you are sharing together in the love that I have for you, then that, by the nature of the case, is going to put you at odds with them. And so the very love you share is going to be standing in a sharp contrast to the hatred, the hostility that you're going to experience in this world. But then there is an exception clause, apparently, in which now Jesus says, a, again, same as here, if, with the indicative, a, ton logon, if the word, accusative singular, of the word logos, here with the article, if the word mu, possessive pronoun, first person, genitive singular. So, if the word of me, atereson, now this is, again, the same word, to keep, and so if they keep, this is the indicative, a takes the indicative, so we have if the word of God, or the word of me, they have kept, this is the third person plural aorist active indicative, so they have kept, if they have kept my word, apparently referring to people who even among the Jewish population which had generally been hostile, but apparently there might be an exception if they have kept my word. Also, then, as a direct result of that, ton, humeteron. This is the possessive adjective. The of you is the idea. So the of you, impliedly word, and then teresusen. This is the future again. Once they will keep it if they have followed me, if they have recognized my authority, then by the nature of the case, they're going to recognize yours as well. So even though we have a general description of hostility that the disciples are going to deal with in terms of proclaiming their message in this world, nevertheless, there will always be those who stand as an exception to that, those who hear the voice of Christ and in fact are going to join in and become disciples of Christ at the word of the testimony of his disciples.